this promo gets ready, Erica, I have about 30 minutes before I have to start leaving so that I can make my way toward a ferry. So chat, while you have me here, if you have Child's Play questions, now's your time to use them. Otherwise, I'll be gone, and then Alpha Flight will have to make them up.
Yeah.
Make up the answers.
Why would you give us this power?
Yeah.
Is that legally binding? Are we setting policy?
Child's Play policy?
Mikey, we're getting you a job.
No! Are we hiring developers? At the moment, no. We did fund a developer for a position at Children's Colorado, but we haven't had other hospitals come to us yet to say, we want our own developer.
So, can you explain for the people in chat, because I definitely know what you mean by a developer, but for them who might not know, what do you mean when you say a developer?
So we got a grant request from Children's Colorado asking to have their own in-house game developer.
Okay.
We thought that would be super exciting. We funded a position, and she has made 3 virtual reality, augmented reality games for them.
So cool.
One of them is, the first one is a game called Booger Blaster. It is what you think. There's a giant nose shooting boogers at you, but it was made in partnership with the physical therapists and patients, because there were movements physical therapy wanted kids to do. The kids didn't want to do them. They're painful. I'm like, I do. So putting them in a VR game where this nose is shooting boogers at you, and then you have to defend yourself from the boogers doing all these actions that PT wants you to do.
That's genius.
So there's the weapons to defend yourself were then created by the kids. So your swords to slash things are rubber chickens. There is a cat blaster that shoots hamburgers out of its mouth to shoot the boogers as they come flying at you, because the kids got to decide, what am I using and what am I doing? So that was the first thing they put together. The second one they designed was a game for kids who are on isolation, because pets can't come visit you when you're on isolation. You can't sterilize a dog to bring it into isolation.
Yep.
And so they modeled up the 8 pet therapy dogs down to like their spots. So it's not just generic dog, but it is, here is Cosmo, we see them.
Yeah.
And you can, in an augmented reality, you put your Oculus headset on, you're in your room, but you can see the dog, lead the dog around a leash, play fetch, bring up a magic closet so you can put hats and sunglasses on the dog, give the dog treats, interact with the dog. And then the third one that they designed is a experience called Gurney Journey, because one of the most stressful things, right, is laying on your gurney getting ready to be wheeled into surgery. There's a Reality Pause a logo on there. But so in Gurney Journey, you're in your room, you can see through your headset, through the exterior camera, your parents, the doctors and nurses, they're getting ready. As they wheel you out of the room, you go through a magical doorway portal that you can look back in and see your room while it's still in sight. But you are in this winter wonderland where above you is the Aurora Borealis, is animals going around, all these things to keep you distracted. You can be in that all the way through sedation. And as you come back out, so that you never left that world.
That's
And then are brought back.
amazing.
So
I got goosebumps.
yeah, no, it's so amazing and so cool. And yeah, just this great way to sort of relieve that stress and that time when you're being wheeled through the hallways of the hospital on your bed and there's nothing to look at the ceiling and you feel like everybody is watching you. Instead, you're in this VR world where you can't see anybody else. Wherever you look is just something else amazing happening. And then you're wheeled in, your sedation happens, your surgery, your procedure happens, and as you come back out, you're still in that world.
so good.
It's very cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah, I, as an adult, still have a lot of leftover trauma from sedation when I was younger, and like that, just imagining how that would have changed things.
And
For me, that hits really deep.
Yeah, one of the Game Tech grants that we did last year is actually at CHLA, and part of his role focus is looking at using VR in replacement of sedation during procedures and doing research on it, and helping get it to become a billable thing, which is an important part of the hospital. We think that it's just great to reduce the need for sedation, but for the hospital, they want to.
I recall a few years ago at the dinner, I think the doctor that is works with Child's Play was speaking, and they managed to do a spinal tap using just VR.
Using just VR. So taking this procedure that for kids can be a whole day, like a 24-hour thing, because you need to be fasted and not having eaten, and then have your sedation, have your quick 20-minute procedure, but then be monitored coming out of sedation and all of those things. But instead to be able to just put yourself in VR, have the full immersion and distraction, and be able to just have a 20-minute procedure be a 20-minute procedure, not a 24-hour thing, is some amazing uses of VR that we're seeing.
Yeah, when I, of course, started watching Child's Play, when they were just getting started out, because I remember, the first year, Mike and Jerry did it out of Mike's garage.
Out of Mike's garage.
Out of Mike's garage. And, the focus was very much on, let's get toys and games for kids in children's hospitals, which is great, but the fact that it's evolved so much into this more holistic, healing and well-being focus for the children is absolutely fantastic, and I love seeing that that change and that evolution. Yeah.
Someone on chat can make the link appear magically. GameTherapy.org is our online version of our therapeutic video game guide. So it's designed to help hospitalized staff, but really anyone, understand the impact that games can have and how they can change the way that you're feeling. And that guide just stays continually updated with games that are good to address pain or anxiety or sadness and things like that. So there is a question up top from NB Chris. Are we international? We are international. We're in nearly 200 hospitals all across the globe. So US and Canada. Oh man, I'm not going to be able to get them all, but let's see what I can get off. Australia, New Zealand, Kenya, India, Germany, Scotland, England, Ireland, Switzerland. I feel like I'm missing some. We don't have anyone in South America, but they also don't have a very big child life program. That's something that they're still developing down there. So it's hard for us to come in ahead of that program, because that's really where our support is in the child life program.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing all of that.
No, I'm always happy to share it.
Yeah.
One of the fun things about being here is to share it with chat, who sometimes might know that this is for a cool thing, but not realize how cool of an impact what you are doing and donating to is having on the kids in hospitals.
Yeah. I know it's I've obviously done this, for a few years now, and it wasn't until a few years ago that it really struck me how much of an impact Desert Bus has on Child's Play. Because I'm pretty sure Kristen is guided. It's other people have grants that they get every year from various government organizations or NGOs. We have Desert Bus.
Yeah. Yes.
That's it's a pretty big chunk of what you do, chat.
We just had our board meeting. Part of the thing we have to do with our board is, submit financials, and it's always sort of we're coming up on Desert Bus, so the numbers don't look quite as amazing yet. But if this was a week later of a board meeting, we'd have just numbers through the roof.
Yeah, check back in our Q4 numbers.
But they know that as well, so that's not a concern on that part. But yes, it is an amazing time of year for us to sit back and just be excited about what we will be able to do next year. We're looking at, when we did our budgeting, 3 to 5 new game tech positions next year.
Oh wow.
Part of that will depend on just where we get applications from, but chat, you fund every year grants for these game tech positions. We fund them for 2 full years, so Child's Play's grant covers their salary and benefits for 2 full years to help those positions take off.
Nice.
And we actually this year just started a certificate training program so that they can be certificated.
As a child.
They can have a game tech certificate.
Oh,
Not a
that's
certification.
so
Now we have to be
cool.
very careful with that, because that's a very
Ah.
specific term inside hospitals.
Okay.
And we are not universities. We are not doing this in partnership with a university, at least at the point yet. We'd love to get there. Yeah, so as our hospital partners that we worked with, they were like, this is a certificate you earn, and you're not certificated in this.
Yeah.
But it was a really a fun way for me to pull back in my previous teaching experience to build this program and get it set and see it take off.
Well, that's a great segue, because I wanted to get to better know a Travis, because this is your first time at Desert Bus, right?
My first time in a handful of years.
Okay.
2016.
Oh, it's
Then
been
we were doing
yeah.
some team rotations, and then the world stopped, and then we're back.
Okay, so this is definitely my first time
Yes.
meeting you. So what can you tell us a little bit about sort of your background, how you came to be with Child's
With
Play?
Child's Play?
Yeah.
So I come to Child's Play from 15 years teaching middle school.
Uh-huh.
So I taught math for about the first 10 of those years, and then I ended teaching career in tech ed, so CTE. So some game design and 3D modeling and robotics and personal finance. The fun things to trick kids into doing math was really what my CTE course was.
Nice.
And during that whole time, I was also running the Omegathon at PAX. So friends with people at Penny Arcade, running the Omegathon at PAX. In 2016, when my role opened up, they reached out to me and said, "You should, what if you came and did this?" And I was like, I teach middle school. What do I know?
Yeah.
I don't know at all. But decided, yeah, let's give it a try. After talking it over with my wife a little bit, kind of thought this position, this opportunity won't come up again, because whoever takes this is probably going to stay here for a long time. I'm going on 9 years of doing this now. But the opportunity was there, and let's give this a try. And it really was right at the perfect time, because it was as Child's Play was switching from just giving things to becoming this resource of education to teach hospitals how to be intentional with games. Oh my gosh, someone has me in my Yale presentation. Look at that. So teaching how to use games intentionally, starting this game tech role that really was just kind of a whim. We had met JJ at CS Mott, who was a child life specialist, but also a gamer, and kind of was responsible for managing their game equipment and running this game program and game volunteer program that they had. And the team at Children's Colorado said, how do we get a JJ? And we went, you write a grant, we'll pay for it.
No.
Sounds like a great try. We'll see if this is reproducible, or is JJ just this unicorn? Is Mott this special situation? What do we know? And it worked out great. At this point, we have done 48.
Oh wow.
48 positions that we've funded around the world. So we have in Australia and Kenya, we have game techs. And then there are another handful, 20, 25 or so, that are popping up on their own that hospitals are doing. So inside Germany, they have one. You may have seen Scotland did a release. They call theirs a Gamer in Residence, which is a really fun
Love it. That's
title.
amazing.
But have theirs going, and yeah, these positions have taken off, and to this point so far, we're at 100% success rate with these converting off of the grant into operational budget by the hospital. So it's not
That's
just
awesome. That's so
a
good.
2-year trial run, but
Yeah, it's actually
but,
they're actually
they're seeing the
maintaining them.
impact and maintaining them.
Cool.
And I did see a few people ask about finding these positions a little bit that came through in chat. Keep an eye on Child's Play's socials when we know hospitals are hiring and posting. That's where we share that information out. And our grant cycle just means that these will be generally posted more often summertime than now, because we open up the grant cycle for letters of interest in January, invite people back to do their actual application, and then award them in March. And then there's often red tape for hospitals to go through to post a position. So it gets to around kind of summertime that they're starting to post it.
Yeah.
But again, hospitals are starting to do this on their own, which is what we only dreamed of when we started doing this so many years ago.
Can you bring the mic up a little closer to your face?
I can.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's very exciting, very cool thing that they do every year, and I mean, this way, up there, all that money's going towards
what it's
helping
going
them doing
to,
their
yes.
thing. Yeah.
Can I eat the mic even more?
Yes.
Maybe.
Munchy crunchy.
I can slouch more, I suppose, because I can't let go to do this.
Zoom Michael.
But I'm there.
Hi, Tim.
What about non-hospital organizations that you work with? Can we talk a bit about that? Yes, but I should drive while I do this. We actually, in the past, Child's Play has done support with domestic violence shelters, getting games to them. But we, in 2020, when lots of things got really weird, you'll drive too.
You can focus on talking.
In 2020, when things got a little bit weird, right, we had to, like everything, do a little bit of a refocus. And what we did end up realizing is that the need and the impact is so big still in hospitals that we, until we can manage and really meet all of their need, we've kind of stepped back from some of those other pieces that we were doing. Although we still share everything that we know about the impact and positive use that gaming can have with anyone and everyone who's in that space. So things like the game guide, if you're a parent and you want to use that or figure out why your kids might be playing those games, then you can use the guide for that. If you're a therapist outside the hospital space, all those kinds of things, we want that available for anyone who's using them. But we've had to really focus in on these game tech positions and decide that that's the strength and impact that we see at the moment, and really want to get those taking off. Yeah, Red Shoes Jeff, that did wake everyone up in the room.
Yeah.
How's the Game Tech certificate program working? Good question up there. We right now build it around PAX, so our next certificate program will be at PAX East. The day before PAX, we bring everyone into town, and we have our some of our child life leaders that we work with come teach a day on child development and the hospitalized child. A lot of people who are in this space are not coming to it from the hospital, so they don't need or they don't have that background in child development and really hospitalized. Like, my background is education, so I have some child development, but not on the hospitalized child. That's not my focus, and some of these people come from education backgrounds. So that's we do that for a day. We get a chance to bring them together in person so they get to meet each other, because a lot of people are doing this as the only person in their hospital or in their state, maybe even, doing it. So they get a chance to meet their peers. We did a day with Able Gamers, so they got a chance to really get their hands on all the adaptive equipment and with the best team to teach them. And then we did an evening where we brought in all of our game techs, because we had some who aren't doing the program at PAX, so a chance to really have them all meet, talk about sort of challenges they've had on the job, share and prep people. And then we do a 9-week online course. So Monday nights, we sit down with them for about 2 hours and do lessons. The units start with that child development. We focus on therapeutic gaming. Then we look at emergent technology. So that's everything from VR, AR, and 3D printing. But also in that emergent technology part, we talk about console settings and all the kinds of things that you wouldn't necessarily think of in managing a system inside a hospital, so that they're really aware of that. And then the last part of the unit is just on program management. So often these people become the go-to person for developing policies around the use of games and technology inside the hospital. They become the manager of a volunteer program, rollouts of things like iPads throughout the hospital or consoles. And so we try and give them a guided primer on how do you do this and how do you navigate all of the politics inside a hospital, because there's lots of red tape and politics inside hospitals.
Heard that.
Yeah, and so to try and get them the opportunity to really get started in this role with a real solid foundation, and also make sure that across the board these are all kind of doing similar things. Some might have more focus on VR or 3D printing or just bedside gaming, but at least that the base foundation is similar in all of the hospitals.